So we were invited to come to South by Southwest to present on regenerative agriculture and regenerative living, which is what Fifth World is all about. Yeah, this is our first time at South by Southwest, and it takes place in Austin, Texas, which is an incredibly fun town to be part of. And this whole festival has been really interesting. There's so many people from all over the world coming and bringing thought leadership into this one space. Incredible art, incredible music. I mean, I live rurally, and so I'm a little bit disconnected from society sometimes. And so coming here and seeing what everybody's working on from around the world has given me a pulse on what is going on in the world, what the zeitgeist is. I'm leaving with a lot of really interesting ideas on how we can work with our mission a little bit and find new collaborators to expand our reach and our impact. So it's been really great. So for the last 3 years, Fifth World's been a venture studio. And so we've been experimenting and trying new things within the space of regenerative agriculture, regenerative living, renewable energy, passive solar buildings. Recently, we're moving out of venture studio mode and we're converging towards three basic initiatives right now. And so being here at South by Southwest, we actually got the opportunity to test one of our first tests of this new convergent version of Fifth World. And so Fifth World is aiming at educating and building awareness. So letting people understand that, yes, the problems are really big in scale, like climate change, soil erosion, food nutrient density collapse. The problem with those narratives is that people get overwhelmed with the scale of them and they don't think that they can actually have a meaningful impact on them, when in fact they can. So we were able to test that here at South by Southwest, those concepts. Number two is we're launching our MRV product in the coming years. And so this is essentially Whoop for Planet Earth, or Fitbit for Planet Earth. And so again, testing the receptiveness of the crowd with regards to what that MRV technology is actually going to allow us to do on planet Earth. And then lastly, we're launching a DAO, which is a collaborative, community-oriented think tank, essentially, that has resources behind it to help move regen tech forward. Yeah, so Daniel Schmachtenberger's done a great job of explaining what he calls the three attractors. And it's really prevalent actually in the US when you think about your political system. As an outsider, we just see like red and blue, right? And it's like, why does the US only have two choices? And obviously there are more choices in the States, but it's really hard for incumbents to come in and offer another solution. And so attractor number one is essentially when big problems happen, government feels the need to come in and coordinate. Coordination is really important because all of the 8 billion humans on Earth depend on clean air, clean water, and the ability to eat. And so a lot of those things, specifically the ones that come from ecosystems like oxygen and clean water, those are commons that we all share as a species. And so coordination helps us as a species to make sure that we don't create more tragedy of the commons, which is what's been happening for the last 10,000 years. However, if we look at long history, what we find is that as governments get bigger and bigger, they tend to trend towards tyranny. And we can see this many, many times, even in our recent past, like World War II, we saw all of the rise of fascism. And then before that with the Soviet Union and all of the things that went on there. And so we need coordination, but we don't want to end up in a situation where we don't have freedom and liberty, which is one of the things that the United States is founded on. And then the red kind of version of that is like, get off of my land, I'll do what I want, very libertarian oriented. Which is really, freedom and liberty is deeply rooted in those kind of ideals. And so it's like less coordination, less government. But if we all just kind of adopt kind of that approach, then the tragedy of the commons becomes a big problem again, because now nobody's looking out for all the things that we share, they're just looking out for the things that they own. And so what we're saying, or what Daniel Schmachtenberger is saying, is that we need to develop a third attractor. How do we preserve the best of freedom and liberty? How do we create coordination tools that don't end up in tyranny, so that we can preserve and enhance the commons that we all depend upon in a new way? And we believe, our thesis is that blockchain technology, specifically the DAO, or DAOs as an entity, which is decentralized autonomous organizations. So organizations that don't have one figurehead, but they're a community oriented towards a specific cause, like regeneration, will allow us to get coordinated, but also allow us to get the benefits of democracy and freedom and liberty. And so we're curating a community of individuals from all over the planet that are concerned about these issues, want to participate, and hopefully invent a new way of coordinating humans on this earth. We had a really large variety of people come and talk to us. So we had countries coming. There was a couple of countries there, which is interesting, specifically the agricultural departments from those countries. There were a few VCs that were interested in trying to understand what tangible tech we're trying to build, because we weren't really explicit about that in our talk. And we had a couple of farmers. I think anytime that you present a new paradigm, if it's not, and because this is our first time talking about these things in public, sometimes farmers can look at what we're doing as a threat to them, when in fact we're actually trying to enhance what they're doing. So yeah, it was a very interesting group of people. And my big insight is I need to just keep giving this talk over and over again, keep improving it, keep polishing it. I do think that the concept resonates with people. Specifically, a lot of the narratives that exist in our society right now with regards to the environment are very guilt-based. And people feel very unsure about what to do with that emotion because they're constantly being lambasted with the guilt of climate change or whatever. And there actually is a way of solving those problems without having to feel guilty about it. Super excited to have come to Austin, and hope to be back here again soon.